Back with some more Danganronpa. Sorry, just looking over my computer. Okay, it's on. Yeah, so this time we're going to the mystery of that mysterious body. I think they said it was female. Could tell it was female because of the fingernails and all that, but I think they actually said it was female. I actually don't need, I just remembered, I don't need to look at the truth bullets here, because it gives me a chance when I get in there. So, let's get to it. I have a feeling we're coming close to the end of the game. So, I'm guessing, okay, I'm going to make a prediction right now. The first person to speak is either going to be Hiro or Hina. And one of them is going to make a stupid comment to open up with. Let's go with that, okay? Whoa, Byaka and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Ain't tight enough for you guys to go off together, just the two of you? Huh? What, are you jealous?
Hey!
Or are you making some of the creepy fantasy of yourself?
What?
Stop talking, embrace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But we stayed there for 5 full minutes waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma shown up yet? Shown? Okay,
could it be?
sorry. Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting here, or... or what?
What?
Jesus! Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait? You got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Huh?
In other words...
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. You can't start till everyone's here, now get me.
Huh?
What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look.
Hey.
I'm here, and no rule's been broken. Kyoko? Kyoko? You're still alive. No, that's a ghost. Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class tryout. You need to save something fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later.
Shing!
No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, I'll see you brought down to the elevator. It'll be just one step ahead of you. I'll be one step ahead of you. Monica was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko! So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God. I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right, now we gotta deal with a ghost. I told you stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. So I'm guessing first point that we need to come across is who is the body. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byaka stepped into the elevator. Master, wait for me. Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But...
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. I do apologize. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep and like triple energy drinks right now. It's a long work day. Whew. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Yeah, where the heck have you been, girlie? Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So...
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also did miss his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. Can't go to the trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's what the key you found goes to. Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What? Kyoko's account. Huh?
Just a second!
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go all over the details after we get through the trial, okay, Makoto? Right now, just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her? That's a strange way to put it. This trial is important for everyone, right? So obviously it's a crucial moment for her.
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Okay. Let's stick up the butt here. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? You couldn't just make me automatically walk on the elevator? Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the door slid shut, and we all descended. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. Can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. Ugh, pardon me. In the dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After a measured period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes, but it wasn't illuminating the light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
I really want to know who the heck is actually dead then. I've been waiting for this. It feels like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed.
Thrills! Chills! Kills!
Let's get on with the show! I saw the curtain open for the 5th time. Deadly, 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 deadly. Deadly. Save it. I can save over this one since that's from chapter 3. Holy crap. Alright. Open the handbook. Tooth bolts. What do we have? Exploded body. Yeah, the upper half was burnt. Because of this, the upper half was soaking wet while the bottom half remained dry. I'm going to assume that it's saying the bottom half being dry is going to be important. Fake nails. Yeah. And also the tattoo on the hand there is going to be important. Now, yeah. The body had a oh my god, I can't speak tonight. Yeah, dog tattoo. Fragments of the body, which was an actual bomb that we found from Monokuma. Sprinklers go on to 7:30, and it's impossible to change it. When the body was found. Morning, Natsuko and Hina arrive at the dining hall. So others and Jim together, they head to the headmaster's room. Toko's is told to find the pickaxe in the garden where she discovers the body. Okay. Knife at the crime scene, that was the one that was taken in our room. Tarp. Let's figure out what that's used for. So one of the chickens is missing. We'll have to figure out what's happened with that one. Just after nighttime last night, so we can assume the murder must have taken place sometime after that. Mask covering it, knife had been thrust in the abdomen. Body still bleeding and the blood was still wet. Forget that there was no blood on the body around the crown. Yeah, that's kind of strange. Mukuro Ikosaba, Monokuma's account. There were 16 participants, all students. It assumed that Mukuro Ikosaba was the 16th student. So I had something she doesn't want anyone to see. I wonder what it is. The woodblock key was found in Kyoko's room. And that was where we found the arrows. The damn arrows in the dojo locker. Duct tape. Yes, but nobody can imagine how. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Okay. Can I study more skills, or do I not have any? Oh, I'm doing bad. And once again, I completely forget the controls for this, because I've been playing so many other games.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class
my God.
trial. So, if
Okay,
you
we've
can
seen
figure
this
out who, then
so many
I'll
times
punish
now.
everyone. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
If we heard something like that multiple times, like the morning announcement, the nighttime announcement, the introduction to class trial, I'm going to skip through a little bit at a time, just to make sure nothing's changed.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim.
Yeah, we
First,
who it
we need to
is.
clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
Thank you, Byakio.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
That was close. This is the second thing said. And it was Hiro. Hey, Hiro, you win.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No! That's a ghost!
Oh, God, Hiro.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because
Hiro, just shut
she's
up.
like the latest evolution in ghost technology!
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Please, thank you.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her
Fingernails.
traits?
So first, the body doesn't belong to her. The
I
gloves.
got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
Pardon me for a second. My glasses seem to be extremely dirty. And full of fingerprints for some freaking reason. Sometimes I hate being nearsighted. Like, I can kind of read what's on the screen, but glasses just make everything become crystal clear.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
No, you don't.
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Why would Monokuma tell you and no one else?
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
No.
They
Stop.
probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
Oh my god.
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Oh, Hiro, you're making my head hurt. There's no way that corpse was Kyoko. But I can't prove why. We're going to be stuck here and the case won't move forward. But two? Your bottle shut down? No. Showdown, shut down, whatever it is. Fake nails.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Oh shit.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
Good God, Hiro. You're such an idiot.
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember?
Yeah.
I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right?
Yeah, why would she go through the trouble of doing her
It'd
nails?
be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez,
little.
man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Apparently you don't know women either.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Thank you, Hina.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have
boy.
been obvious since she's standing right here.
Thank you, Byakuya. You're temper's about as high as mine right now.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
For anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Okay. Tattoo on right hand. I'm gonna assume.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then
Because that's the
who
only way to
died?
identify who it is.
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition.
No?
Shoot!
It wasn't scorched beyond recognition. We have the tattoo of the hand.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
Okay.
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description
the
in the
face.
Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
There it is.
No, that's
I
wrong.
didn't hear that she said face.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
I just dropped my earpiece because my ear itched.
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Why? By genocide, Jill?
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
Hero.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
I thought he said left hand for a minute there. I was like, wait, but wasn't it the right
Oh,
hand?
yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
I'm guessing Toko would get the whole of her back tattooed as a dog for Byakuya.
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Spread the tattoo to information we have. The victim's identity should become clear.
I got it!
That's the only thing we have with
Fenrir
the name.
Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
You know, I actually need to look up the story of Fenrir and who they really are.
Fenrir?
Not the mercenary group, I mean the actual mythological Fenrir. The image that represents Fenrir is a dog. It's a wolf, actually. Yeah, it's a wolf. I need a W. Now I need an F.
Now I understand.
Now remember, I have this set to normal, so I don't know why it was giving me 2. Could just give me
The
O, then
representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast.
Oh. Ooh. Norse mythology. Maybe in the second God of War set in the Norse area, you'll actually be able to fight Fenrir. Which, if you have not played God of War for the PS4, do yourself a favor, go freaking play it. It is one of the best games I've ever played. I actually got the huge collector's edition. I have the statue sitting right over my counter. Oh, that's so awesome. Actually, I've been looking for a picture for him to hang up my map that came with it too.
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Not gonna spoil the game, but you figure out who Loki is.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
Have we not had Toko do anything like that before?
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Mukuro Ikusaba's from Fenrir.
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir.
So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
Apparently not.
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
Apparently the mastermind's not dead if Monokuma's talking.
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean,
Thank you, Byakuya.
being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place.
Yeah, who assigned her that title?
After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier.
Oh,
If I remember correctly, that other information came from
Kyoko.
Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
That's a first.
Then, who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character?
She was pretty important, I'd take it.
Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
Sometimes I agree with Byakuya, and sometimes I just want to smack him.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost.
I could see Byakuya jumping over the desk trying to strangle Kyoko.
Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
Oh boy.
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
We've already had a mysterious 16th person. I doubt this is 17.
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Oh man.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Yeah,
Get
I
a
want to
hold
know
of
who.
yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
We did.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
So how do I know? And there can only be two suspects.
I got it!
Me and Kyoko.
You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there.
But what if you committed it at that time,
So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
Okay.
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs.
To Byakuya, Hiro, and then Toko and Hina. Okay, so it's 2 and 2.
All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Yeah, get it now?
Exactly so.
So the only suspects are me and Kyoko. Dang it, can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock.
But you were with Byakuya?
So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body?
At 9 a.m.
Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
Discovered?
I
9
got
o'clock.
it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just sorry.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around...
7.
Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
We're having between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. Okay, then it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden... sprinklers?
We've established a
goes
time
down at
frame for the
7:30?
murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Hold on. Okay. So because I programmed every 7:30, and the body, if it was there before 7:30, the bottom half probably would have been soaked too. When we found it, the body was dry, which means it had to be after 7:30, right? Stick with me on this one. Let's see where it goes.
And Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
That's what I was thinking with the whole
10 o'clock
it mentioning the thing.
7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Happens in the garden at the same time. It's only approach is totally dry, which cases we to figure out when the body is pregnant garden.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Wait, the first one. Oh,
Yep.
crap.
And Makoto doesn't...
Yeah, from to
Shoot.
7:30.
That's more than enough time.
Okay,
so
so first
Makoto,
one.
if you have any objections, now would be the time.
You sound so funny when I speed up. Okay.
We've
it's the
established
first
a
one.
time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock.
No, that's wrong!
Hey.
Actually,
second.
the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30,
It would have been completely
then it
wet.
should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
That's because we did it.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
The mouth down south.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
Look at Makoto's face. Oh
What do
god.
you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
What are you saying?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
How are you oh, she was Genocide Jill. Just because I got the body wet. All I have to do is say Toko with certain evidence and that should do it. But by itself, it should make it clear. Was it the moment of truth? The rebuttal, whatever it is.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything!
Focusing. Sorry.
Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no!
Final strike.
How can you
More
say this
body
should prove it?
analysis. Well, considering only half the body was wet too.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry.
God, Tokyo, you're so freaking stupid.
If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Thank you, Hina.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because
It's on fire.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
I want to know what the heck the tarp is for.
Then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
No dog, Toko.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place
After 7:30.
sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
But now we just proved that Kyoko
In
is
which
probably the
case,
winner.
the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Crap. Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing.
Yes.
If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course not.
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me?
I've been blaming you since day one.
Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
Oh.
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
No.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko?
No,
But
it's
you
not.
made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
But we know the
So,
truth.
that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Hey, whoa, hey,
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
The tarp.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
And they're gonna make me choose it, aren't they? See who discovered the body. Could have been... the tarp.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water.
But then who pulled off the tarp?
In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
Okay, stop throwing shade at me.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
To prove that they have an
Most
alibi.
likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In
Little.
other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
it didn't have any blood on it.
And what might that be?
Motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's going to think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. What? Oh. True. Hold on.
Like-
Heyo, heyo. Wasn't that... and body before the explosion. Body before explosion.
Covering the body with the tarp. The killer prevented it from getting wet.
Okay.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
No, I was right.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong.
There should have been blood on it, because the blood was soaking wet.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
But then that side would have
If
gotten
they
dirty
had,
too.
they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
The chicken.
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
The garden, right? Which means... chickens! Chicken coop chickens.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
Bark, bark, bark.
But after the murder, there were only 4.
And those chickens don't move at all. Wow.
So, You're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Oh, good Lord, Hina.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
What I want to know is, I have a motive, or I don't have an alibi up to 7:30. After 7:30, I have an alibi. And the sprinklers turn on at 7:30, so... You know...
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
It's wearing it backwards.
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
What?
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet, because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
It still had to have, because after the water had gone off, I had an alibi.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
How would I have gone in, taken the tarp off, put the coat on?
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
Thank you, Hina.
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh.
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
It's not possible, Kyoko.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. This guy's dead body has been added to the Truth Bolt section.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
What? No,
Oh.
no.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that.
It's...
I just remembered something super serious.
Oh god, now
Well,
what?
don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
Crap.
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
Ooh, it's a big knife.
So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
No.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? Can't let Toku keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, She set us up. Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
We didn't.
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
Couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. And I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
That's a lot. Considering everything up to now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. What do I have? How? Disguised body, exposed animate. I'm
The
lost.
knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once? That automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is known that I'm dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. Plastics now packed the virus covered with wounds, but these were at least 7 days old. Wait. The brighter substance coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means the knife was thrust through the coat into the body.
The knife?
Which means it would have to be exploded body analysis. No.
We found
Pregnancy
lodged in...
body and disguised dead body. What is disguised dead body? The murder took place before the sprinklers turned on the special part of the body with the tarp to prevent it from getting wet. Later they removed the tarp, such as placed the weight jacket on the body and treated it with blood to make it look like the corpse had been wearing it. Exploded fragments of the body? Maybe it's fragments of the body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did
I think I
have
know
that
where
knife,
this
that
one-
seals it. Makoto.
Just because I had that
the one,
automatically makes me the
Hero
Well,
says.
getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Shoot!
Wasn't that it?
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then
That seals it.
Hold on.
Just because I had that automatic...
Well, getting so there's no. You took that knife.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Okay, so it's not the one Toko says. It's something
knife we
that
found
Hero
is
The
says.
same one we gave.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid.
if he did have that knife before, that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, that's wrong.
How's that one? I'm confused. I was just gonna try the other two and see what it brought me.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro.
How do we know this?
That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Oh,
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember?
oh, I see now.
The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body,
The knife,
the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body.
Oh.
Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
What's that twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact conditions body is written down for everyone to see. Monokuma file.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her.
The hit on the head.
Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it was all the killer's
shoot. Didn't mean
attempt
to
to
press that.
destroy all evidence of their crime.
My apologies. My headphones are
So they
freaking
wanted
mad.
us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but... What's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
It was probably a trigger detonator.
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
Hero.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
This is the Monokuma bomb from the gym.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the
I don't know
ground
if it
near the
would be
body,
that if there was
right?
something else.
That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
No.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Now let me guess, Kyoko's gonna throw it back at me?
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Kinda doesn't matter though.
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
Kyoko, what are you planning? We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. It probably has to do something with the titanium arrows?
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Wait. Struck in the head. Doesn't say.
And more
Okay.
than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Huh? Knife was covered, and all those other wounds in her body weren't fresh, which only leaves.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then
Oh, the first
there's
one
only
was-
one other
oh,
thing.
shoot.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it.
Shoot.
And more than
I
that, the
think.
victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
Let me try it.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined,
No.
correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well,
It
yeah.
bounced off.
And it wasn't then.
I was hoping to just do a
yeah.
quick one.
That's gotta be it. And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's
Fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Shoot!
I'm lost on this.
Then, shall we continue?
What do I get? Okay, so no, there are dead before the boss. Something is said a single time the knife which went completely through the body. The elsewhere struck in the head is a metal object. As thick as a metal pipe, the body was covered with other wounds, but these are at least several days old.
Continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
No, it wasn't the
Then
knife.
there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of
Hit on the
her
back of the
head.
head. Ah. What? She wasn't. That's what you're saying is I have absolutely no idea. She wasn't hit on the back of the head. It didn't say that.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
So I have to copy something.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her
What
for
I have to
sure.
copy that one?
I guess.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't because of the knife. Then there's
I didn't
only
shoot
one
that.
other thing.
Oh yeah.
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered
Countless wounds across her entire body.
God dang it. Yeah, I'm not losing this one. Okay, so let's
Then,
try...
shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally...
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? Then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According... That's gotta be it.
There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
I don't know.
Shoot!
Then,
Okay,
shall we
I wanna
continue
see
the
what Lakota
victim's
says.
fatal...
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't then.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. And more than that, the victim had suffered
countless wounds across her entire body.
The knife was covered up and all those other wounds were fresh in her body. She only leaves...
Then,
So do I
shall we
copy the
continue that the
metal
victim's
pipe?
fatal...
The explosion didn't kill.
Well,
Oh, what Hero
yeah.
says?
And it wasn't then.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it.
There was evidence that showed she
She was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her
I
entire
got one more
body.
try.
Then, shall
Shall we continue that the victim...
victim's fatal injury has yet to be.
There we go.
No, that's
Good
wrong.
God. Oh my God, that was an annoying one.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
No, those ones are pretty
The
old.
Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh, yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Good God,
Okay,
Hero.
then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
She was hit with a metal
How
pipe.
is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
Why would you hold a pickaxe that way?
The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power.
can attest. I've actually tried to swing a pickaxe that way. Not
I
easy.
wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
Oh god.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd
Yeah.
love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and spit on it.
Toko, going a little far.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what
You're
killed her,
pretty
right?
fucking stupid.
It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
Shut up, Toko.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
I'm guessing it has to be the arrows since it's the only thing. And I'm guessing since that was found in there, it was wrapped around those things.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her.
Just went over this.
And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
Not really.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I'm waiting for Toko to start calling her names. Don't believe you do, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. The bloody duct tape. Bloody duct tape. Come on, I forgot you have to hit
The
X.
titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right?
Yes.
I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too...
That was
No,
an easy
it's
one.
wrong.
That was too easy.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
They didn't use another weapon,
Another
they used
weapon?
multiple.
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled up wad of duct tape.
Put them all together.
The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together.
Probably all the ones that were in there.
Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks.
I'm sorry, what?
One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
You're not even stuttering, what?
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Apparently not.
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Then why'd you have the wooden key?
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
The wooden block key
Because
was
we
in her
have
room.
proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Oh, God.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence. Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. Must be connected to the dojo locker.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is... right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
It was in your room.
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle.
I'm still not convinced
Your
Kyoko did it.
non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
Because she didn't do
No,
it.
it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something.
Huh?
Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
Huh.
I was just protecting you.
Aw.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait,
Oh god, no,
I'm
what?
warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it.
She couldn't get in her room.
Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
He has her key. What? Kyoko should know better than anyone? What does that mean? When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya,
Okay.
what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is
Right
that
there.
what you're saying?
If anything,
You
I'm gonna shoot
stated a
this right
theory
there.
earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Crap.
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly.
Oh
I'm
god,
not
this
the
is gonna
killer.
be hard. I'm
You
gonna
should
lose.
understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya,
What are you? Master would never hide something
I
from
think
me!
it's like right here.
There's proof that you aren't
The culprit.
Shoot!
Shoot. Crap, crap, crap. I think I have to copy something near the end
Those
that
words
Kyoko
you just-
says.
Exactly. I'm not the. You should understand.
Byakuya!
Master would never.
There's proof that you. Is that what you're saying?
You stated
Okay.
a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Okay, now I think I have to shoot this at the same spot that I tried earlier with Byakuya.
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly.
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya,
What are you? Master would never hide.
There's proof
That you aren't the culprit.
Yes, there
No,
is.
that's wrong!
I'm really confused.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in.
And she didn't leave it unlocked.
Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? Yeah, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. The Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The Mastermind's trap? The victim was Mukuro and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. Am I the only one who knows it's a lie? I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. You know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. I can't even save it. Run away. Kyoko's obviously onto something. I'm gonna let it go. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here, something that has to do with the Mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
You were the only one who could get in there.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
Shut up, Toko.
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of.
Oh?
Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What?
Uh-oh.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong.
I'm confused now.
Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you?
Monokuma.
Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the Mastermind set for us. So that's why... this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Oh, God.
Huh?
Time's
Uh-oh.
up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
Oh, gotta get more comfortable.
What? Time's up?
Uh-oh. I've never seen that look on Makoto's face before.
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time.
Oh.
So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Uh-oh. I am surprised I got A's there. But if there's not going to be any more free time...
Who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Oh, God.
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
They voted me, didn't they? Oh, God. The game can't end like that. Am I gonna get a game over and I have to do this whole part over? What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job?
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials. And I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills, kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment. Wait, why do I... Oh, Kyoko. Kyoko?
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Toto has been found guilty. Time for punishment. What? Oh. Oh my god. I like the music. Teacher Monokuma. Are we gonna get the name for this punishment? After school lesson. He erased the board and changed it. What? Oh, come on. Gotta watch this whole thing and then get a freaking game over screen, don't I? Alter ego! So I live. Could die from the freaking fall there, jeez.
What?
Huh? Huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, what's that? Yeah, it had to be.
This is...
Alter ego. Alter ego? Is this some kind of stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Darn it all to heck. Don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It's just a pinch and inch. An itch. The stupid virus is gone now. Got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never going to see him again.
Yaha!
To waste away in a garbage strewn pit in a way that's even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still going to bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the end of the world. Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay, we're not the ones being trapped this time.
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You will understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers over the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. Brings in top students from every field imaginable. Government-funded school of privilege. They say if you come here and you manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. What are we doing right now? There are 2 things you need to attend this school. 1, you have to already be attending high school. 2, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. Yeah. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? I wasn't in any classroom I'd ever been before. What the heck is going on? The heck? Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again, and then I was awake. Is that the rocket that Monokuma used at the beginning of the game? Or was it just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in here till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me, and he used up the last bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. A way out of there. That's a rocket and a tank. Better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. For you. Is that an airplane? How'd something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? Was there an airplane for any of the executions? No. Route. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here is going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are all around a bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up because I'm still alive. I'm still here. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. That would be me. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. Can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. Oof. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was... Stop yawning. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign, not exactly. What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Couldn't have just... Never mind. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
Giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was. It's Kyoko. And
it smells awful.
She's got a couple of noodles on her head. This place smells awful. Kyoko?
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Wasn't obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. Got a little bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We'll talk once you're finished. Ooh, bread and water. Thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my stomach and making its way toward... It was in my mouth and making its way towards my stomach. Ooh, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up, then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at.
Hmm?
Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Again? But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So, you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive...
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope Sweet Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope Sweet...
Indeed.
That's right. At least I did. Once. Once? Until recently, I've forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible.
Huh?
Amnesia? Then, is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, but when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. So what is your ultimate ability? Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's the only reason I can think of... There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. Still waiting for, like... What is it? How did they steal your memories? So the mastermind just stole them from you.
However...
And it could also mean... Somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But what if you say it's true? Why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us? If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just my intuition, but... I see. Oh man, my throat hurts. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything.
I'm still curious about that dream.
My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just your personality. God, again. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Is it the headmaster? Because you keep talking about him an awful lot. Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. So just press X. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Oh. Was that the headmaster at the beginning? And he got bona fide by Monokuma? Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains... When Alter Ego told us how he thought that headmaster was involved... I'll find a way.
Huh?
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. Makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the desk drawers were dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes. And to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map.
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. That looked funny spelling there. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if it was true, this room would have likely hold more clues. So I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like, that part of the school? I mean, it's hard to describe. All I can say is... The moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
Can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important. And really ominous.
However...
Of course, once again... Which if I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means... Everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean, because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. But no objections, you're free to explore house speak.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind could step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind itself is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about that murder, the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You mean... during the night?
I
can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway...
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away, but as I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the other things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Oh man, I apologize. Ooh, that was a bad one. Whoever the master assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And the murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
Don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but it seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words...
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered.
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair.
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. That is our real enemy. 100 mile of dash, pain of a junk food junkie. I still want to know what the heck that means. No one died. Next time on One Piece. I thought that was something else for a second. Well, 5 alive. The ultimate despair. A group of people caused a tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people who put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now...
Anyway...
Right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Bring out the rest of the story and come after. Yeah, you're right. It's locked, but we have to find a way to open this door. Kyoko, do you have a key? Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. One part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey Kyoko, can we use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took the key out of the with the Monokuma design on it and slid into the keyhole. And then... click. Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
And now we get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Danganronpa. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. That is an angle right there. The ladder was impossibly long, and I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I have no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. Conscious effort.
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and now we do it, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. So that explains... Before I came here, when I was looking up the info about the Skull Nine, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you go so far into Hope's Peak, is because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reunited after all those years. You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk about to my father. There's nothing I wanted... Oh my god, I can't read. There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There's something I want to say to him, though. What?
No
matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family, and was talented, and he had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
That's true. Then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I had gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might be feeling. I could tell that she was compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's why anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need him to step out of his shadow. This is a lot of reading. This is a lot to learn about Kyoko.
Correct.
Oh my god. That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. You did all of this just to tell him peace. In order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, just to cut him out like that?
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? No. Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. That sounds like a wooden door, not a metal, like, thing. Metal trapdoor. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Looks like we're back.
Whew.
But I can't believe how long that letter was. I'm exhausted. Can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. Never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... And I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying you'd rather just... Then rather stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't.
Because
the Mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The Mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The Mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment when the Mastermind let their guard down. Was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us to go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Okay. I'm gonna end this here. Good freaking God, that was a lot of story. So, Mukuro Ikosawa's dead. We almost got executed. The trial was all a trap by the mastermind. And now we gotta go talk to the mastermind. Monokuma. I have a feeling maybe 1 or 2 more live streams and this game will be done. And then we move on to Danganronpa 2. With a whole new set of people from what I hear. Oh man. I should be able to stream this a little bit more in a few days, so I'm looking forward to it. So we'll head to the gym next time. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next stream / next video if you're watching this on YouTube. Until then, see ya!